Here are the parts we need to make a plastic foam glider. We've got a strip of flexible plastic foam, a little strip of card and a bigger strip of card there. So two elastic bands, a piece of blue tack as a weight. You can either use a glue stick or bits of sticky tape to hold the certain parts together, but you don't need very much tape to do it. Here we go, foam glider. First thing to do is have a look at the strip. If you have a very close look, you'll see that it has some special cuts in it. Now it's white foam, so it's difficult to see when you go from one end to the other. Well, there's the first one, look. Now be careful with it, don't open it right out and damage it. I'll make a black mark on these so that you can see exactly where they are. There we go, that one stops there. And there it is around the other side, look. There we are. And then at the opposite end, another one there. This is shorter this time. But these ones go all the way around. So they're from all four sides. So these black lines show where the cuts are that you'll find in the piece that you're going to use. Fabulous. There we go. Right, this long cut is going to be an opening that lets us fit the wings, and these shorter cuts are the openings where we can fit the tail parts of the aeroplane. So we've got a nose, we've got the wings. The wings aren't exactly in the middle, they're forward of the middle. So that's the nose, the wings are going to be about here, the tail's going to be at the back. In the gap in the middle there, we'll just call that the body of the plane. So let's go for the wings. We're going to use a piece of card, and the piece of card fits into the long slot that starts at the nose. But we want to make the wings really strong, so we're going to fold the card. So there's the longest distance we've got in the card, the long side, and we're going to fold it in rather a special way. We're not going to fold it exactly in half that way. We're going to leave an edge. And the reason we're going to do that is it just gives us a slightly bigger area for the wings. So the size that way is always going to be the same, but if we move this, the further we move that out, the greater area of the wings, the greater width that way. Fabulous. Next. Well, I just want about a centimetre, so it's not critical, but just a little bit's fine. And give it a fold. So hold it firmly, give it a fold. And now what we're going to do is just use some sticky tape or glue. So you could use the glue just on the inside like that and squash it down. I've got some sticky tape. We're just going to do it like that, look. Fabulous. So there's our wing. Can you see how it's made that sort of special shape that sort of opens out? If you use tape, you can get that shape, and that can help with how well it flies. If you use glue, it tends to be a bit flatter, but it will still work. It still works either way. The good thing about wings like this is, look, we can bend them a little bit down or a little bit up, and that can help control the plane and change the way it flies. Right, here we go. That thin edge there, the thinner edge, that's going to be at the back of the wing. Now if that's the nose, that's the back of the wing, in it goes. And we want to try and get it exactly in the middle. Now you can use your ruler and put some pencil marks on here if you want, and that helps you get it in the middle, but your judgment is usually absolutely fine on this. Hold it firmly at the front like that, look, to jam the wings in. And we're going to take an elastic band, but the elastic band would have to be quite tight, so I'm going to double it. So we're going to double the elastic band around the front. Here's a way to do it, look. Double it like that. Roll it back, and there are the wings trapped nice and firmly. Now check, I think I've just push it that way a little bit further, push it that way, and try and get that the same as that. Now the tail. To make the tail, it's got a few folds. This long strip has a few folds in it, so we'll fold in half again. and then fold in half again and try and get it as even as we possibly can. And when we open this out, it's like sort of divided it into four, look. 1, 2, 3, 4 little parts. Well, the tail shape is going to be something like that. There it is, look. And that's why we've got so many slots in the back. We want to pop the tail in the groove in the back, so that this one that sits upwards goes through the top part and the two side ones stick out sideways. Shuffle it along. Now there is another groove there, but we just don't need to use that one. There it goes. Fabulous. So the tail slotted in at the back like that. Now to hold it in, same as before, elastic band, but to get the elastic band quite tight, we're going to have to double it round. There we go. Well, if you try and fly this little model now, just by holding it like that and throw it, you'll find that it waves around all over the place in the air and doesn't go very smoothly. And that's because it's not balanced properly. So we need a piece of blue tack. Take a chunk of blue tack like that, look, and then roll it out like a long sausage. There it goes. And we need to make sort of a ring of blue tack go around the nose. So the more weight at the front, the better. There it goes. Wrap it right round, stick it back to itself. If you can, the underneath of the plane, so there isn't a tail fin there, this is the bottom of the plane. The bottom of the plane, try and make a slightly larger piece of blue tack at the bottom, so it's heavier at the bottom part of the plane than it is at the top. There we go, squash it down, look. There's that sort of a heavier part there. And now you should find that will fly just by throwing it in the air. These tail pieces, if you find your plane just automatically heads for the ground when you throw it, then you can alter these little fins at the back, the tail fins, and you can sort of curl them a little bit. Now don't curl them very much. You can see what I've done to that one. But you'll have to do that one the same. So you're curling them slightly, and that helps the airflow push on the back and then lift the plane up in the air. So as the plane goes along, it sort of lifts it a bit like that. If you do that too much, then it'll just fall back on itself. So experiment with finding a big empty space in the hall or on a field perhaps, and then throwing it. Don't throw it too hard, just get used to gently pushing it through the air like that in a straight line. And of course, you can alter the wings as well. So similarly, the tips of the wings could be tilted over like that, and see what difference that makes. So there's our wing shape, is altered a little bit. So there's our glider there. Absolutely fab. These should go a really sort of quite a long distance. And if you get the shape of the tail right and the shape of the wings just right, they'll stay in the air and glide for ages. Fabulous.